Good afternoon, everyone. Today's tip is going to be based on the third hole at Kenilworth Golf Club, which is behind me here, and just a little bit of strategy off the members' general play tees, the yellows, and how we can go about using our best strategy to get a par or even a birdie. Uh, and again, pars, net birdies based on your handicap as well. So how can we attack the hole as best as possible? So the third hole here, being a dogleg left, if we miss the drive to the left-hand side, there is out of bounds too far to the left, but also even if we just pull it into the trees, we're going to struggle to advance our shot closer to the green because we're almost blocked out. Now, if I was to hit a drive that would miss on the right-hand side, sometimes we might have a gap through to the green, which is obviously going to give us more chance of a better score. So when we are lining up on the third hole, it's important to understand that, okay, where the marker post is, which is the middle of the fairway, that's great. But depending on the way you shape your ball, if you're a fader of the ball or a draw of the ball, your target is going to change. So I like to hit a draw. And because I'd like to favour the right-hand side of the hole here, I'm going to aim just right of the marker post and try and draw it in. If you're someone who likes to fade it, you could aim just left of the marker post, and if it did fade too much, okay, it might go in the trees, but we might still have a chance to advance the ball closer to the green. So let's hit my tee shot now. I'm going to aim just to the right of the marker post and see if I can draw it back in. Okay. Okay, managed to hit a nice draw around the corner there. Let's go and play the second shot and see how we get on. Okay, so I've managed to hit the fairway here. I just quickly want to talk about the tee shot that we've just hit there. I chose a 5-wood off the tee there. Based on, my driver hasn't been fantastic at the moment, so I've got a bit of history there where, okay, I'm going to learn from that. I've not hit my driver as well as I could be. So I've clubbed down, not to my 3-wood, but to my 5-wood, just so I felt as confident as possible off the tee, which has resulted in this time I've hit the fairway. Fantastic. But again, going back to the tee shot, club selection is really important, especially it's the third hole of the day. You've only had a handful of swings in the first 2 holes. There's not a great deal of data to go off when you're that early into a round. So I would say on the third tee, take that with a pinch of salt. What's going to make you feel most confident off the tee when you're there? If you started well on holes 1 and 2 and you're feeling confident, by all means, pull out the driver and let it rip. But if the swings have been a bit cagey, you've hit a couple of shots that haven't gone where you wanted them to go, bear that in mind. Do club down to try and give yourself the best possible chance of hitting the fairway, which will result in an easier second shot. Now I've hit a pretty decent shot there. I've got 90 yards left in. It's a little bit downwind today, so it's gone a little bit further than normal. But even though I've only got 90 yards left in, there's still really important things to consider here, where we know the green is relatively flat, but again, things to consider if you are further back than this, but even if you are closer than this, is that it's quite a tight green from left to right. It's a nice, decent size, but it's still relatively tight. All the greens here at Kenilworth are very, very small. So middle of the green is never going to be a bad thing. So I've got the ball a little bit above my feet, which is going to make the ball want to turn from right to left just a little bit. So I'm going to aim just right of the flag here. And especially why I feel more comfortable with that on this hole is because if I was to miss the green to the right hand side here, that is significantly easier than if I miss the green to the left. For the simple reason of there's 2 greenside bunkers on the left, and there's a big slope which goes down to that left hand side, which sometimes can take a nasty kick left and end up in all sorts of trouble down there. On the right, it's reasonably flat. So again, favouring right of the hole here. Because the ball's above my feet, it might want to work back in, but if it does stay out there, I've got a reasonably easy next shot, even if it is a chip from the right side. So just going to aim on that little tree just right at the flag. Think of what 90 degrees feels like, 90 yards, sorry, feels like. Back and through. Started to the right. And finished kind of middle of the green, which I'm happy with. Okay, now I was quite happy with my shot into the green, but I've still got the best part of 30 feet, 35 feet for birdie. Not a putt I can be overly aggressive with here. And from history on this hole, I know that the ball wants to move slightly right to left. But from this sort of distance, I'm really concentrating on distance control. I really want to concentrate on, yeah, not leaving myself too much work to do with my next putt, if I have a next putt, that is. So I'm going to go about a cup width outside of the right. And hopefully the ball comes back. Maybe has a chance to go in. So just outside the right. Good roll. Just missed it on the left side. And I'm going to give myself that one for par. But hopefully that helps. And the key takeaways from the third hole is the tee shot. Let's consider what club feel makes us feel most confident off the tee. It doesn't always have to be driver. And again, favouring the right-hand side, that opens up the hole a little bit for our second shot, even if we do hit it into the rough or even sometimes into the trees. Second shot, the miss to the right of the green is substantially more easier for a chip shot than it is down on this left-hand side into this gully. And just consider as well, the green just tilt ever so slightly from right to left. So watch out for that when you're hitting your putts on this hole. Hopefully that's helped, and we'll see you soon for another tip.